Hello, this is Mr. Beck. This is the final part in my series on creating a video game within Android. In this tutorial, we're going to use the action bar to we're going to add one button, and when the user clicks that button, the game will reset. The ship will end up in the center. The targets will re-randomize, and if you'd like, you can have the score reset to 0. So what we're going to do is I'm inside of the main activity class here. We're going to find a good spot to add this chunk of code right here. Okay, and this is what we're going to use for our action bar. You might want to pause the video, get this in. The code we have already has on create options menu. We're going to add the on options item selected, and we're going to tell it that we're going to have one item available. We've already done something similar to this when we were working with just adding a paint dot. We use the action bar to change the color of the paint. This is a simple switch statement, and we're going to tell it to locate an element within our XML file called reset. It'll have an ID called reset. And we're going to then trigger a value within our getter setter class called reset. We're going to trigger that to 1. That's all we're going to put here. Okay. So let's go ahead and take a look at the different parts here we're going to need to work with just to get this up and running. The first thing you're going to want to do is you're going to want to go to your the getter setter class, right? Obviously. And we're going to add an integer that is called reset. And probably doesn't really matter. You probably want to initialize that to 0 based on the way we're going to set that up. Then what we're going to do is we're going to drop down to our inside of our res folder. We've got our menu here, and this is our activity main.xml inside of our menu. Now note, point of confusion inside of the layout where we're actually drawing elements to the screen, that's an activity main.xml. You want to be sure we're working with the activity main.xml that is in the menu folder, because we're going to work with an action bar item here. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. And what we've got up here is one item inside of our menu here, and you want to get this in. It will have an ID of reset matching what we just put in our main activity class. It's going to match an icon called check, and you can put any icon you want there. I have a standard little check that shows up in the action bar. And it also references a string called reset. We're going to need to go through and just create that very quickly. Anytime we see that @string, we know we can go to the values folder and find strings.xml. I think I'll have to look over. We'll check. All right. So we've got an ID. We've got a drawable. We'll need to create a little PNG, icon size PNG. And let's go take care of our string right now. Reset. And if we look inside of values over here, there's strings.xml. And pretty simple concept here for strings.xml. We're just going to put a little string here that says start over. String name reset. Close it. Very simple. So our main activity is referencing the activity main.xml in our menu folder, which has an ID there. It references a drawable, an icon, and a string. All right. So we've got that working, and we've got our getter setter. So now we're going to go to panel, and we're going to act on that getter setter. Okay. So it's pretty simple. We just want to reset the game whenever the getter setter is set to 1. Whenever that reset value is set to 1, we want to go through and do some things. So we're going to reset the ship at position X and position Y to the center of the screen. We'll set ship destroyed back to false in the event that reset is 1. The ship is no longer destroyed. We're going to loop through all of our targets and re-randomize their positions by generating a random integer based on the screen size there. And this is, you can see inside of update. Okay, this is my update method. This is the first thing here that gets checked, is whether or not the reset switch has been flipped. You could probably do a getterSetter.score equals 0 here if you'd like. And the last step here, once everything has been reset, we flip the getterSetter.reset back to 0. And so the user then has to touch the item, the action bar again, in order to make that 1 and have all this logic here trigger, resetting the game. So go ahead and get that in. I'm going to pause and I'm going to show you. Oh, wait, there's one more thing. Right, almost forgot. Inside of onDraw, okay, we want to No, that should do it. It looks like I just thought maybe we had to do something inside of onDraw because I was working in onDraw a little bit earlier, just changing some icons and things. I'm going to go ahead and pause this and show you what the upshot is. Okay, so here I am inside of my game, and I can hit my thruster. I've got my little fire icons down here for the thrusters. And if I hit something, you can see the ship explodes by clicking the check mark. Everything is reset. Everything is re-randomized, and I can click that check at any time, and you can see my targets are randomized around the screen. So, if you've accomplished this and you have a check mark at the top, and you have icons at the bottom, and you're able to drive around and you're able to shoot, you're able to fly around and your ship gets destroyed, you have completed this particular assignment for Mr. Beck's Android programming class, the simple game here, working with a 2D canvas. So give yourself a hand and raise your hand and show Mr. Beck your game, because he wants to see it and he wants to make sure you have a big fat 100 in the gradebook. So thank you for watching, and look for more tutorials.